Guess who got brands talking? Brandlive.co.za.
Welcome to the Financial Independence Coach, naturally creating freedom, meaning, and wealth. Brought to you by Yefo Pty Ltd, in association with Brandlive.co.za. And here is your host and coach, Yvonne E. Fentello.
Morning, Brand Live streamers and Yefo Pty Ltd subscribers. We are live from the studio at 27 Boxes, and today we are talking hypnosis. Today I've got in studio, I've got Max Kahn. Good morning, Max. How are you?
Good morning, and good morning to the Brand Live listeners. And I'm very well, very excited to be here, and I'm looking forward to a great interview.
Wonderful. Now, Max, before we get off and start talking about our very interesting topic, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Glasgow, which is a city in Scotland, the United Kingdom. I consider myself South African. I've been here since 1990. That's 28 years now. And next year I'll have lived here longer than I lived in the UK. So I'm a South African, and I love it here. And I help people get better lives and become happier through the medium of hypnosis, which we're going to discuss today. And I consider myself a people's person. I love people. I love the interaction, especially with complete strangers. That's the most exciting. Most people will avoid strangers. One of my mottos is kindness to and from strangers, on whom we all depend. And if you think about that, it's absolutely true. You can't argue with that. Most of our income, most of our happiness, most of our success comes from complete strangers. And yet, strange enough, as we're growing up, little boys and girls were told not to talk to strangers, and don't go with strangers, and don't look at strangers, and things like that.
And the stranger danger effect.
The stranger danger factor, absolutely. But again, kindness to and from strangers, on whom we all depend.
Exactly. And to actually fully be independent, we have to realize our interdependency on each other.
Yeah. I don't think that there really is such a true thing as independence. You're absolutely right. We're interdependent on everybody else. Even a hermit can't live a soul life. He's dependent on the baker, he's dependent on the milkman, and he's even dependent on the corner cafe shop owner. So yeah, we're all dependent on each other.
Now, Max, you've done your studies in psychology, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I've got an honours degree in psychology. I found it very interesting, and I just really did it because it was on my bucket list, and not necessarily to equip me with any extra skills. I consider myself first and foremost a hypnotist. I'm a stage hypnotist, I'm a hypnotherapist, and I don't really go down the traditional route with any of my clients. Whilst I believe, which is a typical psychological view, that the formative years were perhaps the most influential years, and absolutely they are, but I typically avoid, unless it's absolutely necessary, which in 90% of the cases it's not, I avoid going back into childhood because I like to operate from the point of view of where are we today. Because whether you know this or not, the most important day is Today. Not Monday, not Tuesday, this one, today.
And that's why it's called the present, because it's the most important. It's the gift of here and now.
That's it, Joe. Tomorrow never comes, Yvonne.
And yesterday is long gone. You can never get it back.
Nope. But we are here today.
We are here today, definitely.
And let's make the most of it, and let's enjoy ourselves, and let's help the listener at home who's listening right now.
Definitely. Now, Max, hypnotherapy. Where did your interest come from hypnotherapy? Where did you start with hypnotherapy?
You know what? After every demonstration of hypnosis I do, after every show, people are fascinated. People are absolutely wide-eyed, open, and gobsmacked, for want of a better expression, because they see people that they thought they knew. And I'm talking about work colleagues, I'm talking about spouses, I'm talking about even family, sons and daughters. They see these people do things that they have never seen them do before. And they begin to wonder, my goodness me, if this hypnotist chap can get my son or my work colleague to do that, what else can he do? Can he perhaps increase sales? Can he make me happier? Can he make me healthier? Can he make me wealthier? And the answer to all of that is a resounding yes, I can. And I will.
And we're referring to that. It's not running around on stage clucking like a chicken.
No, well, that's stage hypnosis, and that's the whole object of stage hypnosis is entertainment from a comical, funny sense. And if it's done in good taste, which 90% of the time it is, it's a wonderful medium and form of entertainment. Mm-hmm. Because once again, you're seeing people that you know, or you're seeing ordinary people, or not stars or such, ordinary people becoming the stars of the show. And you're clucking like a chicken. You know, that's a common thing that the hypnotists get the people to do. It's pretty easy. I mean, I could cluck like a chicken right now, and I don't think I'm hypnotized. So.
Well, as my sons will confess, their mother can crow like a rooster.
There you
and
go.
I don't need a hypnotherapist to do that.
No, not at all. No.
Now, Max, when it comes to hypnotherapy,
Yes.
a lot of people are under the impression it is a whole lot of hocus pocus, wishful thinking. It's not real, basically.
Yeah.
How does hypnotherapy, could you explain to our listeners, how does hypnotherapy really work with an individual?
Okay, well, first of all, the people that think it's hocus pocus or that it doesn't work, if you were to ask them why they have that opinion, most oftentimes, they don't know. They just think it's just an opinion, and everybody does have an opinion. Hypnotherapy definitely works, and these people who say that it doesn't possibly haven't experienced it. So if they haven't experienced it personally, how would they know it's going to work? You know, someone said to me once, I tried hypnosis, it didn't work, I won't do it again. And I reminded him, I said, well, one of my friends just failed his driving test, and I hope he doesn't adopt your attitude, because he'll never drive again in his life. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you've got to do something more than once. It's called perseverance. You've got to persevere. You know, if you don't succeed at first, you keep going if you want to succeed. If you don't want to succeed, then just pack it in after the first attempt, and you'll be like the run-of-the-mill people. But if you want to stand out in life, if you want to get to the next rung of the ladder, and that ladder's standing right in front of you, by the way, you can see it right now, you've got to keep going. You've got to keep going through the good times, the bad times, the hard times, the tough times. You've got to keep going when it's sunny. You've got to keep going when it's raining. You've got to keep going when it's cold and windy. You just never stop. If you're alive, it's because you've got to keep going. So keep the momentum going, and don't let the naysayers ever come between you and what you actually want in life.
And a lot of people, a lot of individuals that I've interviewed thus far for my thesis, they are of the opinion that even if they do go for hypnosis, it will not help them.
Well, you see, there's a problem straight away. It's not the medium. That's like saying, look, there's no point me going to the doctor because he's not going to be able to help me. I mean, that's ridiculous. But there are a lot of ridiculous people out there that have that absolute same mentality. If you decide at source that something's not going to work, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And 100 sessions of hypnosis as 100 visits to the doctor is not going to help you, because you believe in your mind and heart that it's not going to work. And like everything in life, you've got to buy into things. You've got to subscribe to things. You've got to put your heart and mind into things. Otherwise, you're going to do it haphazardly. You're going to do it flippantly. You're going to just scratch instead of digging. And there's a big difference between digging and scratching. Ask any miner, ask any gold miner. They know the gold's in the ground, but if they just scratch the surface, they ain't going to find anything. They won't even find a nugget. So those guys have got to dig. And they dig deep and they find the gold.
Exactly. And if you quit before you find it, you're never going to find it in the end.
No, you must never quit. You must keep going. Momentum is the key.
It's easier to move forward when you've got momentum.
Well, you know what? You've got to overcome the inertia. So if you just put in a little bit of effort in the beginning and you overcome that inertia, the momentum will keep you going. It's much, much easier to keep a moving thing moving than it is to overcome a stationary object. So if you are moving, just you keep moving. You might want to increase the speed because in life you've got to be at least walking. If you're walking, there's a lot of people going to run past you. And if you're running, there's faster people. But you've got to be moving. You've got to be moving. That's why we have over 600 muscles for movement, for activity. We've got to be moving.
Exactly. Now, Max, when it comes to hypnosis, what is the difference between hypnotherapy and, for instance, guided meditation sessions?
Okay, guided meditation sessions typically want to achieve one thing, and that's relaxation, mentally and physically, and that's absolutely wonderful. It's fantastic. It's therapeutic. Whereas a hypnosis session per se, a hypnotherapy session, normally likes to target one specific thing. And that thing could be losing weight, it could be becoming better at your studies, it could be becoming happier, it could be becoming more confident, it could be stopping smoking, it could be a phobia, it could be biting your nails, whatever. And normally, it's the exact same process. They want to, both the guided meditation and the hypnotherapy have to get the conscious mind, the busy conscious mind, out of the way. And once that's out of the way, it opens up to the fertile ground of the unconscious where you can place suggestions. Now, with the meditation, normally the suggestions are that you're emptying your mind, you're feeling good about yourself, and 10-15 minutes of that is fantastic. If you're a stressed executive or a stressed individual or a stressed housewife or mom or whatever, 10-15 minutes a day of meditation, it will do you the world of good. You can throw away all your Prozac, you can throw away all your other anxiety medications. You don't really need that. You just need to know how your mind works and do a little bit more of it, and you'll find it very beneficial. And of course, with hypnotherapy, again, we just target one particular thing. So rather than general relaxation, which is typically what meditation is about, and which is beautiful, by the way, with the hypnotherapist, he'll target one particular thing. He'll zero in on that. And you leave that person a non-smoker. But again, if you want to become a non-smoker.
Exactly. If you want to become it, then hypnosis will help you to focus in on that specific want, that specific desire.
Absolutely. I don't believe in forcing anybody to do anything they don't want to do. I'm a big fan of free choice. If I want to go there, I go there. If I want to go over there, I go over there. If I want to go to New York, I go to New York. But I'm not going to force anybody to come with me. I understand people are different, and that's what I love about life, the differences within life. So yes, if you're a smoker and you enjoy smoking, keep smoking. But sadly, people do that. They keep smoking until someone in an authority position, such as a doctor or a specialist surgeon, indicates to them that they have something seriously wrong with them, and then, from my personal experience, 90% of them want to change. And in life, timing is everything. It's better to stop smoking while you're still healthy, for example, than when you are unhealthy, because then the cards are stacked against you. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you.
Well, taking the smoking example, my father-in-law and my stepfather, both of them, were both smokers. And it was on a visit to the doctor, returning home, both of them scrunched up their packet of cigarettes and threw it away. Yeah. Purely because of the information that they received in that doctor's visit, stating that, you know what, time's up. Now you have to draw a line.
And draw the line you must. But sadly, people should be doing this for themselves, because we can't rely on our doctors. We can't rely on other people telling us. We should be looking after ourselves. We should be looking after our health, which is our greatest wealth, and we should be looking after our money as well, which is the actual, perhaps, wealth. But we should be looking after it. If you're going to keep giving third-party people the control in your life, then you really remain a prisoner of other people, and I find that sad.
Live from 27 Boxes in the heart of Melville, this is brandlive.co.za.
Whether you're an athlete or just going about your day-to-day business, use TurboFreeze on the go for any pain relief or inflammation. It's the #1 pain relief formula. To find out more, log on to our website, www.turbofreeze.co.za.
Hey Bonang, how are you?
Hi Tuli, look so beautiful. Hey, long time no see. What happened to your skin, by the way? The last time I saw you, you had a lot of blemishes and breakouts. It was so terrible, man.
Wow, thanks for that, Benang. Luckily, I discovered DMK. Have you heard of DMK?
DMK? Who are they?
DMK is a paramedical skincare brand that specializes in all skin conditions. Would you like their number?
Yes, please.
I know you're not good at numbers, so let me give you their website address because your skin looks terrible. It's www.dmkskincare.co.za.
The unique experience. Living as One Events presents relationship talks, drama, Q&A sessions,
music, love stories, ladies and gents session, and lots more. Registration fee at 150 Rand.
happening at Bread of Life Foundation Venue, Honeydew Shopping Center, Bayers Nordia Drive, corner Blueberry Drive, Unit 66, Laser Park, Honeydew. Saturday, 15 September at 11 a.m. RSVP on 072-851-8702.
Harnessing the power of talk radio. Brandlive.co.za.
And we are back. You are listening to the Financial Independence Coach here on brandlive.co.za, brought to you by Yeffel Pty Ltd. Today we've got Max Kanye in the studio and we are talking hypnosis. And before the break, we were talking about decisions and impact and how hypnosis can help you on that. But Max, I want to hone in on how hypnosis can help us with our decision making. Specifically in the sense of, and we just flicked past it before the ad, our decision making with regards to our wealth, our health, our freedom, the meaning that we create in our life, and not becoming a slave to the surroundings and the people around us, but to realize our independence through our interdependence. How can hypnosis help us on that point?
There's quite a few questions there, Yvonne.
Yeah, I know. I usually pack everything on top like an ice cream.
That's fine. I'll unpack it like an ice cream, one lick at a time. When it comes to decision making, the biggest problem with people today is they can't make a decision. So they hire experts to give them more advice, and they hire more experts for more advice, and they become totally confused. Once you have enough information, you must execute that information and make a decision. And very often, if you don't make a decision, it's because you have this fear, you have this paralysis that, what about if I make the decision and it's wrong, and things like that. So, when you hypnotize yourself and when you understand, not hypnotherapy, but when you understand how to access that part of the brain where the fears are removed, your decision making becomes tenfold better. Mm-hmm. You become a positive individual who makes decisions not on thumb sucks or anything like that.
Rule of thumb.
Not at all, no. You make the best decision for yourself. You make the best decisions for your company. You make the best decisions for your family based on the relevant information that you have on hand. You look at the upside, you look at the downside, and you make an informed decision. And hypnotherapy and hypnosis, self-hypnosis, is wonderful for that, because once you know how to access a state, it takes you all of 2-3 seconds to be in that state, and you've completely shut out this conscious mind that's always full of doubts and doom and gloom, and you can't make the decision, and your subconscious will help you make the decision yourself.
And when we talk about state, this is now the actual, the different stages of the brain, alpha, beta, delta, and theta.
Yeah, well, that's the Greek words to describe brain waves, and right now I hope so, I think we're consciously wide awake, so we should be in the beta state, and then when you start to relax, when you go into hypnosis, you actually enter what's called the daydreaming state or the alpha state. Now, the alpha state is you're not awake anymore, but you're not sleeping either. Theta and delta is light to deep sleep as such, which you normally consciously don't remember anything about. But if you're in the daydreaming state, then you're aware of what you're doing, and you will remember it thereafter. So ideally, we want to be in the alpha state, where we've just quietened down the conscious mind, the menace conscious mind. Actually, it's a wonderful mind, the conscious mind, but it can get in your way. We just want to quieten him down. We want him to be just pushed to the side so that we've got a direct road, a straight road. You don't have to turn left or right here. It's a very easy direction. You drive straight into the subconscious, and you'll find it's a lovely place. In fact, you'll want to go there again and again and again.
Now, talking about the subconscious, a lot of individuals that I've worked with, unbeknownst to themselves, have these subconscious blocks or beliefs about money, about wealth, that they're not worthy, that doesn't matter what they do, they'll always just have enough. Now, I've worked with a few individuals where I've tested pre-recorded hypnosis sessions on them specifically for these specific blocks. Now, when an individual sits with a hypnotherapist, now I know there's a lot of stuff that comes into it, you know, your NLP and your subliminals and so forth. But when an individual sits with a hypnotherapist and unconsciously they do not know what that block is yet, how would you unpack that with the individual to discover that block?
Well, you've got to ask a series of questions. You've got to ask the individual why they're like that. Now, most people say, I don't know. Now, whenever someone tells me I don't know, I don't accept it. I say, listen, you do know. Now, if you don't want to tell me, that's fine. I understand that. But if I don't know, I can't help you. So tell me. Think about it. Take your time. Want me to ask another question? And I ask the same question slightly differently. When it comes to money, biggest problem is people don't feel worthy. And you mentioned it there now. There's this feeling of unworthiness. And that comes from the formative years. If you want to become rich, but then, you know what does rich mean? Because R1 million to one person is nothing, and to another person, it's
the complete world, the universe.
It's the universe, yeah, absolutely. So you've got to establish, what does wealth mean to me? What does being rich mean to me? What does having money mean to me? Now, you mentioned just getting by or just having enough. You only really need enough to have a wonderful, fantastic life. You don't need to be a billionaire or a trillionaire or anything, because the more money you have, the less you can spend. And now, that is not a contradiction. Think about it. If you've got billions, then you start spending in billions. And you can't buy a normal car anymore, so you go and buy yourself a remote island, and your shopping list changes. But the ability to earn money, and this is the biggest thing. You hear far too many people talking about they want to make money. Now, the only people that make money are the guys that work in the mint. Please remember this, my lovely friends. You've got to earn money. Now, how am I going to earn money? Well, you earn it by giving your expertise. You earn it by selling a product. You earn it by any legal means. You know, some people say, but what about these guys on the stock exchange? They put 100 Rand down and they change it into, let's say, 10,000 Rands. Yes, they do. But they are earning that money as well by demonstrating their expertise. There's none of us make money. And if you keep thinking in that mentality of making money, you're going to be living in a dream world. You're going to have empty pockets. But when you understand that you have to earn that money, you have to earn that millions or those millions, then that money will come to you quicker than you can blink your eyes. It will come to you in battlefields, and you'll wonder, where was this money all these years when I used to struggle? I used to have to scrimp and scrape. It will come to you almost like out of the sky, and you'll be amazed. And see, when this happens, by the way, open both hands wide and let it all in. Don't become suspicious and block off the flow, which is what a lot of people do. They think, oh my gosh, all this money's coming in, I don't deserve it. And they block the flow, and of course the money dries up. When the money comes in, you let it in, and you let it in and in and in and in, and don't stop.
And you be grateful for it, because the more gratitude that you show towards it, the more that you respect it, the more it's going to flow back to you again.
You have to be grateful for everything, not just money, every single thing. And the first place and the only place to be grateful is in the morning when you wake up. When you wake up in the morning and you realize you're still alive, if you don't get on your bended knee and give gratitude to your God or to your higher power or whoever you serve, hey, something's amiss with your life, because that's the most precious time of the day. Not when someone says, oh, you're wearing a nice tie, or well done on that report. You get excited first thing in the morning and watch how your life changes.
You see, Max, now a lot of individuals that I've interviewed now over the last couple of years, they first of all don't experience that gratitude. But when you then sit with them and you do a one-on-one interview, I come to the realization most of them don't even know who their true, authentic selves are.
No, none of us really know who we are. We think we do, but we don't. You would need perhaps several lifetimes, and we don't get that luxury. So we've got to make the best of this one. And we are here, so let's try and find out a little bit about what makes me tick. And if you can just find out 2 or 3 things about yourself that makes you tick, do more of that. Don't go looking for more things. You won't find them. It'll take you too long, and then you'll be 99 before you become a millionaire or a billionaire. And then, you know what, you're a little bit too old to enjoy most of the things that money will buy you. So I say to people now, and I tell the youngsters this, 14, 15, 16-year-olds, what makes you tick? What do you like? Find out and do more of it. You don't need to keep looking for new things. Just find something that works, something that you love, and you've found yourself. Just do more of it.
And that by that you'll actually find your purpose, your roadmap to the purpose that you are here for in the end of the day.
I believe we all have a purpose, and I believe it's all very similar. Our purpose in life really is helping each other. And the quickest way to help yourself is by helping your neighbor. The quickest way to help yourself is to help a stranger. We're going back to the strangers now. Quickest way to help yourself is helping somebody else. So if you want to get on in life, help somebody. Help an old lady across the road. Help a little youngster with his homework. Help somebody and watch how things change.
In other words, be the mentor. Be something for somebody that can't repay you in any way or form. And that way, we'll find more rewarding experiences through that.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. Do something and do it with a glad heart, with no expectation of monetary, financial reward. And the heavens just open up. The universe, God himself just seems to think this is a good guy. We'll give him plenty of it, and you get plenty of it.
Exactly. The more you sow, the more you will reap.
Absolutely.
Now, Max, when it comes to hypnotherapy and working with individuals,
yes,
a few individuals have noted to me that, a few individuals have noted to me that after they've used my pre-recorded hypnotherapy sessions, they sometimes do feel as if something deep inside of them has broken. And they first go through, I would almost say, something like a sad state. Before they start realizing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Now, is this normal with hypnotherapy sessions where you specifically hone in on a focus point?
Okay, the question's a little bit, we need to be more specific, but no, not everybody feels down, maybe 1 or 2%. Depends on the nature or the gravity of the situation in the first place. Let's say a smoker, most smokers feel elated. They feel fantastic because they realize they've regained their self-control, and they realize they're now looking after themselves better than they've ever done. So there's nothing sad about that. There's nothing worrying about that. That's actually a time of celebration. That's actually a time of happiness and elation. So, no, very few people that I have dealt with have, let's say, negative experiences. But I know what you're talking about, and it does exist, but you would perhaps just need to package that question into actual specifics.
Into specifics.
It's too generalized for me to answer.
Let's put it into an example, for instance. A young individual that has come to the realization that your life is just not working for them.
How young is the individual?
The individual is young relatively, 25.
Young? 25. And what's not working about his life?
It's her.
Okay, what's not working with her life?
Well, she's now come to the realization that after the coaching sessions that we've had, that she has always been a victim of her circumstances.
That's her mentality. So we would have to change the victim mentality.
Yes, we're busy working on that victim mentality. But if you go back and
Just tell her, out of the ashes rises the phoenix.
true that. But if you go back to her childhood days, and when you go and look at what she experienced at that very crucial young age between 2 and 6, when the brain is a sponge, and what has what was imprinted onto her.
Her brains are sponges all the days of her life. And they're proving that now with neuroplasticity. Our brains are sponges in childhood and they're sponges when you're 99. Now, this is why I don't like the traditional psychology route, because I would say to that young girl, forget about childhood. The fact that you're still alive, it couldn't have been that bad, respectfully speaking. Now, I don't know the gravity of the situation. I don't know the history of the problems, but the young girl is obviously still alive, so there's some people who are not alive. They were sent to war when they were 16 years old and they got shot through. They stopped a high-speed bullet with their skulls. They're not alive. They've got real problems. But this young girl is alive. So I would forget about the childhood, and I would concentrate on her life today. Now, if she is living her life today as a victim mentality because of what she thinks happened between 2 and 6, I would first of all want to establish if she's actually remembering the correct data. Because, you have infant amnesia up to about 3-4 years old. So if it's 4 to 6 that the 2 traumatic years were, well, what actually happened? And, I always say come to terms with it, desensitize it, be thankful that you're still alive, you're still got your limbs, you're still in one piece. Let's change the mentality of it. The physical stuff, the memories, let's change the mentality and let's go forward today as a new person. But more importantly, let's go forward today as a person that you actually want to become. Now, are you happy to be a victim? They should say no.
Exactly.
So what's the opposite of that? What's the opposite of being a victim?
It's being a victor.
Well, yes. But they must say that, you see. I want that to come from them. And then we build on that, one brick at a time, and plenty mortar in between.
So you agree with me that yes, sometimes it is good to go back to see what is happening there.
I don't like to go back. It's not necessary.
But it's better to start where are you now? And where do you want to go and work from there?
Where are you now? Where do you want to go? How are you going to get there?
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
absolutely.
Max, I've still got 10 tons of questions that I would like to run through our conversation, but unfortunately our time has come to an end.
Time is precious.
Time is precious, and some would say it is money. So
Time
Max,
is money.
you will join us again on the show?
Oh, please, please. This has been great. Thank you.
Brilliant. So, listeners, that's it for us today. You've been listening to brandlife.co.za. You've been listening to the Financial Independence Coach, brought to you by Yeffel Pty Ltd, with me, your host, Yvonne E. Fentelo. Time,
listening.
we say shalom.
Harnessing the power of talk radio. Brandlive.co.za